In the 41st millennium, there is only war, and today there is only Warhammer 40k Dawn of War as the best, the creme de la creme of real-time strategy games set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. I've been wanting to make a video about Dawn of War 1 since last year when it celebrated its 20th anniversary. The fact that we finally get an announcement of an improved definitive edition of that classic RTS today, I think seems a little late. I think they wanted to make the announcement last year, just about when they consolidated all the games into Dawn of War Anniversary Edition. They probably, should have just launched the definitive edition instead of the anniversary edition, but they didn't. My guess is that they were probably a little busy, with the whole leaving Sega thing and going indie and perhaps downsizing and restructuring the company. So even if this definitive edition was on the cards, they've had to delay it a bit. But that's in the past. Right now we've got the announcement of a new and improved Warhammer 40k Dawn of War. It's not a complete remake or a remaster in the veins of what we've got recently with Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, which is a tad bit disappointing. The bar has been set with remasters and even definitive editions. Dawn of War Definitive Edition is what they call the classic that you know it, but optimized for today's hardware, which makes it seem like it's just a 4K texture pack. That's part of it, but it's a little bit more than that. If you take a look at this gameplay trailer over here, you'll notice that beyond the increased scale in view, there is an improvement in the lighting. They call it image-based lighting, which tries to realistically mimic how lighting falls on an environment as it interacts with objects. At first glance, it just seems to make the map a little bit brighter, and I think by extension make the battlefield a lot clearer. It may look like the units have been improved, but that's probably the high-res textures and lighting doing its magic. Also, some units, depending on their material, do reflect light. I think you'll agree it makes quite a significant visual difference, but not to the extent that this is a completely new look. Although you will probably also agree this ain't like a Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition kind of difference, which in that game, had a lot of work done beyond just resolutions, but also animation improvements. But as Relic stated, they didn't want to mess with the classic too much, which I'm guessing is their way of doing something nice to give the game a bit of an upgrade with limited resources. Don't get me wrong, I think it's nice that they're doing this even, and I'll probably get it. Who am I kidding? Of course I'll be giving Relic my hard-earned money. I must say though, for a game that came out 20 years ago, the units actually still look pretty darn good, which speaks to the talent of the people that worked on the art in Dawn of War way back when. And don't you guys miss the days when expansion packs were like the size of an entire game? Not those puny little DLCs. Yeah, Dawn of War standalone expansions were like massive. Like we literally got like 4 different Dawn of War games. Well, each game added to the roster of factions, but they had their own unique campaign. All of us has our own favorite in the series of expansions. For me it was Dark Crusade, which introduces the non-linear strategic campaign. Oh, and they added the immensely overpowered Necrons and their moving monoliths, which were absolutely a sight to behold. Now my question is, will there be more to this? Will Relic release new DLCs that add new units, new campaigns maybe? Because if they took a page from Microsoft and what World's Edge have been doing with Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, which by the way has been a phenomenal success, although the new DLCs for that game could have been a lot better. A Relic could potentially see a new revenue stream from a dormant game under their belt. Who knows, maybe Dawn of War DE is an experiment to see if there are still people really enthusiastic to play a Warhammer 40k RTS. Well, people didn't quite like Dawn of War 3, so why fix what's not broken with a classic? It's exciting times to see somewhat a resurgence in RTS with classics coming back strong and new ones emboldened with the enthusiasm of the community of gamers that love these games. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing the revival of the real-time strategy genre, a genre that so many have called its death countless times before. And yes, there was a time us fans gave up, but it seems not anymore. It's good to be back. Anyway, tell me in the comments which Dawn of War campaign is your favorite, and will you be getting this game, and if there are any mods that you would totally recommend, which by the way the definitive edition will support existing mods. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd really like to know. If you haven't watched my video about the new Relic game that they've been working on, it's kind of an indie spirit game with a small team working on it, go check out this video on Earth versus Mars. Thanks for watching and farewell, noble friends.